Hi,
Hello.
Shambhavi.
Hi, Divyam. Long time no see. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How's everything going on your end?
Perfect. After a while. Yeah. What about you?
I'm good. I'm good. So I actually wanted to talk to you about idioms and phrases, and I wanted to clear out some of the doubts that people have had recently. So why don't we start off with an introduction? Wait for our friends to join us.
Yes, absolutely. Hi to everyone who's watching us now. I don't think anyone's watching us now. So, hi to everyone who's watching us on YouTube. I hope you're all doing well. We did idioms and phrases some time back, and people loved it, and everyone wanted more. So, we are back with idioms and phrases part two. This is why I keep telling them, let us know what you want us to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. I think that is the most fun part of my live experience is that we get to talk to people all the time and clear out their doubts. And I love how vocal the community is about what questions they have. I love how vocal they are about what they want to see. They love they tell us this person is our favorite speaker. We want to see that person. When are we going to talk about XYZ topic? And I think it's adorable when I read all this. And obviously, as someone who's been working at Clapping, it's always good to see a fan or someone who likes the platform in a way where we helped him in some way.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Shruti. Shruti has joined us. How are you? So when Keisha and I did, I think it was my last live, and Keisha and I did a live on idioms and phrases, and everyone absolutely loved it, and they wanted more of it. We spent most of that answering their questions and explaining to them various idioms and phrases that they wanted to talk about. And yes, if there's anything, any idiom or any phrase that tends to confuse you, you can let us know, and we'll help you out with that.
Definitely. That's what we are here for. We're here to help you out and
Yeah.
try to, yeah, have fun at the same time.
Hi, Himanshu.
Great.
And if
That's
anyone
great.
wants to join our live as a guest, you can let us know. You can DM us here. You can let us know in the comments, or you can DM us on Instagram.
You can actually, I think the easiest and the quickest way is to DM us on Instagram. Our Instagram ID is @clappingo. And if you DM us, one of our moderators is going to send you the link for this particular meeting. And that will be the easiest way because if you put it over here, we'll have to sort of find your account. Uh, if we need to know your name, we need to either know your phone number or something like that. So
Yeah,
DM through Instagram is the easiest and quickest way to get through to us. So we're hoping to have at least two people so we can have a conversation about their experience, maybe ask them, maybe let them ask us some questions about today's topic, right?
absolutely. Yes.
All right. So Shambhavi, should we start our topic? I'm sure
Yes.
that people who would love to know what the topic says.
Yes. So what what do you think about, like, when I think about what differentiates a very basic English speaker from a very fluent one or an advanced speaker, I think mostly for me it's the use of idioms and phrases in their conversations. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, and people loved it last time, so we're back with a lot of more idioms that we would want you to know, we would want you to use in your conversations, which would hopefully make you uh, a better English speaker than you might be at this point.
And not just that, knowing the appropriate phrases and idioms makes you more confident. It makes you feel like, yes, I can have a conversation with this person. I can gel with them. I can sort of, connect with them in a way where even they feel like, wow, I want to keep talking to this person, right? So in some
Yeah,
way, if you haven't already figured this out, guys, spoken English has a lot to do with your personality, right? Personality, first impressions, right? Obviously, whenever we go for an interview or we're trying to make a new friend, first impressions are very, very important because if they think you're
absolutely.
silly, if they think you keep making a lot of mistakes, then they may not want to spend that much time with you. they may not want to invest as their time and effort into you as a person. But if you come off as someone who has similar interests, of someone who knows what they're talking about, right? I think they might want to try talking to you more, be closer friends to you, and even in a job capacity, they might want to experiment with you and say, let's give this person a chance. Let's see
Yeah.
what we
Yes.
let's see what we can teach this person and give them a chance.
I agree with.
Fascinating biology has a good question, and I think I should kind of clarify that. They asked us, gel with them means what? So gel with them, gel, basically when we say that, it just means connect with them, right? um, Nowadays in college lingo, or in college languages, we say vibes, right?
Yeah.
So
Five.
gelling with a person means getting along with them, being comfortable with them. If you, like, it happened with me, like I went to a pub the other day, and there was an Arsenal football game going on, and I saw another person wearing the Arsenal jersey, and I knew for a fact that we have similar interests, and I am going to gel with them. I am going to get along with them. That's what gel with them means. Okay. So great question right off the bat. First question, very nice.
Himanshu has a question. He's asking, what's the meaning of the idiom whistle in the dark? Whistle
Oh,
in the dark is just basically, there's actually a substitute for it in Hindi, which is I think it's andhere mein tir marna or something, but it basically means to show courage in a difficult situation. So maybe it could be as simple as they were lost, but they were just like whistling in the dark. It's a
they
good
were
idiom.
taking a chance. They were playing
Yeah,
their
yeah,
odds.
yeah. It's basically to make a show of bravery. So
Yeah.
that.
We would love to know where you heard that, though. That's a very good idea.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask him.
Himanshu, let us know where you heard that. And if it's a sentence, if it's a book, if it's in a movie, if you could quote the line, that would be very nice. We would love to know where and how it was used.
Yeah, and I think this goes for most idioms and phrases. The context in which we are using them is very important.
Mhm.
So, like, it keeps changing with context. So, if you can provide us more context, we could help you out better.
Definitely. Okay, Shambhavi, why don't we start off with the list of all the cool idioms that we have prepared for them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, do you want to start with it?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Um, just a question for you guys. What do you think? This is a very common one. We're starting with the easy ones. What do you think stabbing someone in the back means? Anyone? We'll wait for your answer.
I've seen a lot of movies where they've used this, and when I initially heard this, I was like, wow, that's a very aggressive idiom.
Yeah,
It's something
because
to.
when you visualize it, it's like why would it's horrifying. But
Definitely.
yeah, anyone can attempt to answer. Himanshu, Shruti, um, fascinating biology.
Okay, let's just spill the beans.
Yeah,
I think that's another one.
spill the beans.
We'll get to that one,
Yeah.
guys.
So stabbing someone in the back basically means, since no one answered, I'm guessing no one answered because I cannot see any
No,
answer.
not yet. There is a
Yeah.
bit of a delay. So when we say something, it takes them 20 seconds to hear it.
Ah,
So
right. Yeah.
there, I think Shruti has said something. Cheating on someone means you are attacking someone indirectly. I
Yeah,
think she
sort of.
just gave options.
Yeah, it just means to hurt someone who is close to you, or maybe someone who trusts you, betraying their trust. That's stabbing
Mhm.
someone in the back. So if I let out a secret to Divyam and he goes on to tell everybody about it, it's stabbing me in the back. Then he would be stabbing me in the back.
Yeah, that means, and I think fascinating biology got it correct. She said to betray.
Betray.
That is absolutely correct. It means to, let's say, when you trust someone, this is sort of a military thing. When you trust someone, you can turn your back to them. That means, let's say if I think Shambhavi is going to attack me, okay, I'm going to make sure she stands in front of me so I can see all the things that she's doing to make sure she's not a threat. But if she's my teammate or if she's in the same army as me, what I can do is I can trust her. And we can stand back to back and look in different directions and sort of defend ourselves. So when someone says stab me in the back, that means when I trusted someone and I showed them my back, or put my faith in them, they use that
Yeah.
opportunity to betray me, to sort of hurt me. Like we hear this all the time when we watch a movie and there's a breakup, or some best friend
Julius Caesar.
betrays. Yeah, there's a fight between best friends. They're like, why did you stab me in the back? I trusted you not to do that. We hear these idioms a lot.
Someone has a question.
Yeah,
Barking
we
up
can
the
hear
wrong
you.
tree. Yeah, barking up the wrong tree.
Right.
Divyam.
So Shruti has this question, barking up the wrong tree. Now that's a very common one. When we say barking up the wrong tree, let me see if you can understand how it works. Okay. Now I'll give you an example. I'll use this sentence, and I want you to try and figure out what it means. Because we can't just give you all the answers, because then you just become like Google. We don't want that. We want you to understand how to think, try to figure out the answers for yourself. Okay. So let's say Shambhavi hates. Okay, let's say I hate birthdays. I do hate birthdays, by the way. Okay, and Shambhavi wants to throw me a surprise birthday party. She's very good at that. She loves the people around her, and she loves treating them, on their special day. Okay, okay, chill. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's say she is really excited to throw me a birthday party. Okay, now in that case, someone would go up and tell her, like if she asks another speaker that, hey, when is Divyam's birthday, what do you have planned, what should we do? Someone might come and tell Shambhavi, you're barking up the wrong tree, right? So I think that's a fair example. Now Shruti,
Yeah.
in this situation, I hate birthdays. I don't like celebrating them. I don't even tell people my birthday. But Shambhavi is the complete opposite. She loves celebrating other people. She loves celebrating herself as well, obviously. But she is super excited to celebrate my birthday as a teammate. And someone went up to her and said, you are barking up the wrong tree. Can you please guess what that could mean?
In the meantime, I'll just give you another example from my personal experience. So there was this professor that I was very close to, and I thought it would help me with my internal assessments because that's how internal assessments work. You're close to a professor, he gives you good grades, and that's how it's done here at my college, especially. And then I realized that he's not going to mark us, and there's this other professor who's going to mark that paper. So I spent all of that time pleasing him, and it's like being a good student and always being the first one to answer. But so it's just basically wasting your efforts. You want to achieve something, but you're doing it the wrong way.
Yeah.
So that's when
Or
I
maybe the
realized,
wrong person as well.
yeah. So I was barking up the wrong tree all this time.
Mhm. Yeah. So I think we have a lot of guesses. Some of them are really close. I really like it. Shruti said to be wrong about the way to achieve something or the reason for something. Okay. Now
Yeah.
Harshita said, I'm gonna read all the answers first and then give you a correct one. Okay, guys? Shambhavi, that light is in your face.
I'm sorry, I was reading the
Scary.
comment.
That looks scary for a second. Okay. Harshita said, asking someone wrong, barking up the wrong tree. I didn't quite understand that, but we'll get to the next one. I'll give you the correct answer in a second. Um, okay, I think that's those are the two answers that we have received.
Yeah.
Okay, so Shruti and Harshita, from our examples, I'll let you know. barking up the wrong tree, that means investing your time, effort into something that is not going to pay off. Okay. Now let's say Shambhavi plans the party, she organizes like the decoration, the surprise, she calls all my friends, and I just don't enjoy it or I don't appreciate it, right? That means she's barking up the wrong tree. It means it's wasted effort. She shouldn't do that with a person like me, because in that case, that is not to my liking,
Yeah.
right? Another very obvious example is like asking a tree if you want. No, okay, maybe that's no. I can't think of that. I can't think of anything correctly.
There was a very interesting picture of a dog barking, actually, like literally barking at a statue because he thought it was an actual person who would give him treats. So he was
Yeah, there.
literally barking at a wrong.
No, no, don't confuse that. Basically, he was investing something into something that where they were not going to get a return out of it.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
That's what she meant.
in very simple like in very simple words, it's just wasted effort.
Yeah. Why don't we see the official Google, uh, definition for it?
We have another very commonly, like by the time you're doing that, there's another very commonly used idiom, poking one's nose into. Kamlesh wants to know what that means. So yeah, it's just meddling with someone else's affairs. So just like constantly interfering in someone's personal business, or to get involved um, with something that's not your concern.
Yeah,
So
it is not related to you. You shouldn't be
yeah,
involved in it.
so
So
it's like,
doing those things are called, like in that case, you would say, why are you poking your nose into that
yeah,
conversation or into that
that's what
relationship?
he wanted to know, how we can use it. So that's exactly how you can use it. You can, it's like, stop poking your nose into my business. So, yeah.
Himanshu has a really good. He has a
Yeah,
couple of good
Himanshu, we would
questions.
really love to know, where do you get these idioms from? Like, what books are you reading? What movies are you watching?
Yes,
Please tell
let
us.
us let us recommend this to all the learners.
Yeah.
Okay, Himanshu's next question is, he's used a sentence over here. Okay, and I'm going to say the sentence. Virat went to Dhoni to pick his brain after the game got over. What's the meaning of to pick his brain in the above sentence? In this instance, and I think in most instances of that idiom, we would say to pick his brain means to basically discuss strategy, to try to find out what that person is thinking or was thinking in the moment, right?
Ask for
So
advice.
exactly, ask for advice, all sorts of things. So in this particular case, Virat could go to Dhoni and say, uh, in that last over, why did you go for a risky shot? Why did you go for that six? Why didn't you play it safe? Why didn't you take a single, or why didn't you go for a four instead of a six? Right. So it's possible that he wanted to understand his decision making in that decision making in that moment. Okay, so he went to pick his brain to try to understand, exactly like I said, his decision making, what his thought process was, what he was trying to achieve in that case. Because Virat Kohli could, use Dhoni's experience. There are lots of moments where Dhoni has been in a situation, and throughout his career, he must have learned a lot of things through his experience, that next time I'm in this situation, I'm not going to play it safe. I am going to play risky, because I think it's better in that way. I think I get much more to gain. There's much more to gain if I take the risky bet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
For example, like Divyam is very passionate about football. You're very passionate about football, right? Yeah. So if, let's just say, someone asks me something very technical about football, and I don't watch football at all, very rarely, when my brother's watching it or anything. How is that important? Anyway, so if someone asks me anything very technical about football, maybe a term that's related to the game or something, I can just tell him, I'm not very sure about this, but you can pick Divyam's brain. because he watches a lot of it, a lot of football, and he's very passionate about it. So yeah,
And he could help you with it.
yeah.
Much. He's much more. He's much well. Oh my God, what am I saying? Well versed.
He's better informed about
Yeah, better informed. Yeah, thank you.
football than I am.
Okay. Next one, Harshita, is elephant in the room. Shambhavi, can you take this one? Elephant in the room.
Yes,
To
again,
address the elephant in the room, technically.
yeah, again, very commonly used. It's basically it's a situation. It's usually used to refer to something which everyone knows about. It's very obvious. Um, like everyone knows about it, but no one wants to discuss it.
Okay, how about I give you an
I,
example? What
yeah,
is the most trending thing that's happened in the last 5-10 days to do with the Emmys?
to do with what?
The Emmys.
Oh, it was the Oscars, right?
The Oscars, sorry. Yeah, the Oscars. Yeah. My bad. Yeah, sorry. No, you can say it. It's okay. Don't slap me. Hello.
No, I was asking you if you were referring to that
Yes.
incident.
Yes, that is the big incident, right? So
So Will
why
Smith.
don't you use that as an example?
Yeah. Were you asking me how would I use that as an example?
Yes.
You asked the question. You tell me.
Okay. All right. So if for those who don't know what we're talking about, there was a moment where the host of the Oscars, Chris Rock, the host was Chris Rock. He's a very famous comedian and he's done a couple of movies. Okay. He's quite famous in Hollywood. He was hosting the Oscars and he made a joke about Will Smith's wife. And I think everyone knows Will Smith. I don't really need to introduce him. He made a joke about Will Smith's wife, and he wasn't very comfortable with the wife because Chris Rock made fun of her disease. Like she had a disease.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made fun of her hair, but she had lost her hair because she has a disease called alopecia. Okay, so let's not get into the disease. That's very complicated. Let's not digress. But Will Smith was offended that someone made a joke about his wife's disease and her appearance after the disease. In that case, what he did was he acted very emotionally. He got up on stage and he physically hit Chris Rock in frustration, right? That and he said a couple of things. He said, "Don't talk about my wife. I'm not comfortable with it. Keep my wife's name out of your mouth."
Like,
A couple
don't
of
make
things.
it a joke. Yeah.
Don't mention her. Yeah, exactly. Leave her out of it. And in that moment, everyone was stunned. For a second, they thought it was a joke. Maybe they were trying to, you know, maybe it was a comedy skit. Maybe they were trying to just make a clip out of it so that a lot of people can talk about it. But later on, when Will Smith started screaming, they realized that this is actually a real life situation where Will Smith had physically assaulted someone in front of the whole world, not just on stage in front of all of Hollywood's biggest names, but also on TV. Like everyone who loves Hollywood, watches those award shows. And like coming back to the topic on hand, elephant in the room, we could say that once the show got over, once the award ceremony got over, I would say, everyone knew this happened,
Yeah.
right? But they had to address the elephant in the room. Now, when we say elephant in the room, what we mean is everyone knew it happened because they saw it, but no one wanted to talk
Talk
about it
about.
because it was firstly awkward. Secondly, it wasn't just some random person who did this, right? It was Will Smith. He's really famous. So they were scared. Should we say something? If a
Yeah.
random person, a photographer, a journalist, maybe someone from the crew of the Oscars went and hit Chris Rock or went and hit Will Smith, people would go crazy. Security would come, they would arrest him, they would make sure he leaves the venue. But it's Will Smith. Like even the security at Oscars, they told him to leave as soon as that happened because that is unacceptable. You can't do that. But Will Smith himself said, "No, I'm not leaving." And they couldn't do anything about it because he's Will Smith.
Yeah.
You can't drag him out of there. You can't arrest him in front of
Has
everyone.
that kind of authority. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like saying kick Amitabh Bachchan out of an award ceremony, which obviously I don't mean in any bad way. I don't think that he would ever do that. But I'm just talking about the stature. The person is quite famous, and he has done a lot of good things in Hollywood. But the elephant in the room was that everyone knew this happened. Everyone saw it happen,
It's very
but they couldn't
obvious.
do anything about it because, yeah.
It's
So that's why
awkward
they
when you
said we
talk
need to
about it.
address
It
the
makes
elephant in
things
the room.
awkward.
Okay. Should we move on to the next one? I think I have cleared that out.
Yeah, I think the next one is moving heaven and earth. Someone asked that.
I think Shruti, before that, Shruti said jump the gun. So let's clear that one before we move. We move to move heaven and earth.
Okay, all right. I cannot find that comment.
Okay, I think you just need to go to live chat. I think you're in top chat.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yes. Oh, now I can see that. Jump the gun.
Yeah, jump the gun.
Would you like to take that up?
Yeah, sure. So jump the gun, basically, it's a very simple one. It just means to do something earlier than expected.
Too soon, yeah.
Too soon, yeah. So let's say Shambhavi and I decided that we're going to live at 7. Okay. And then I get really excited, or I want to do something on the live alone. And I just log in and I start the live at 6:55. That means I have jumped the gun. That means I went too soon, or I did something before it was actually planned to happen, or before it was supposed to happen.
Yeah, just that. I mean, doing something, acting too soon than the appropriate time. Yeah.
Awesome. I think that was very easy. We should just move on to the next one.
So moving heaven and earth, again, very easy. Okay, before I go on to explain this, there's one thing that Kisha mentioned in our last live, which was to, whenever you hear an idiom, visualize it and try to come up with a meaning. What could moving heaven and earth possibly mean? It's not an easy task. You're being asked to literally move the heaven and earth. So it would obviously mean something that's very difficult. And that's exactly what it means. It's just something, it's just to work very hard in order to achieve something or do something. So, for example, I moved heaven and earth in trying to achieve my goals, whatever that might be, or to get good grades in my exams. So,
I think a good example. I think a good example will be Elon Musk. He has so many great things and so many things that were literally impossible until he did them. So he moved heaven and earth to make sure that he could build an electric car that could be sold to the commercial market, not just a random electric car that would sell for $1 million. He made something that was very expensive, very affordable, right? So he did move heaven and earth to make sure the technology progressed to a level where we could have electric cars. We could have, obviously, this is something that's for the future, but we can have affordable space travel. So we can, colonize, or we can sort of live on other planets in case we can't save Earth.
absolutely. And someone has asked, what does it mean to take your foot off the pedal? Yeah, to take the foot off the pedal. It's somewhat the exact opposite of moving heaven and earth. It's just to make less effort, to like to start to relax. Quite the opposite of moving heaven and earth. Again, visualize it. What happens? Why would you take your foot off the pedal? Let's just visualize a situation. You're riding a bicycle, you take your foot off the pedal. What could that imply? It means that you want to take a break, you want to relax, you want to make less effort. So it's a very good trick to visualize the idiom and think of what it could mean and what it could imply.
Yeah, I think this idiom itself originates from racing, the racing world. Because when we say in the racing world, someone is aggressive, someone is fast, we imagine them just pressing the accelerator and just going as fast as they can, right? So in this case, the pedal means the accelerator. So to take your foot off the pedal, that means you stop being aggressive, you slow down a little bit. And that is the the thing you could visualize, that I'm going to be very aggressive, I'm going to go as fast as I can. And you can just visualize yourself just holding the steering wheel and pushing your right leg and just pushing the accelerator as hard as you can because you want to go really fast. But when you want to slow down, maybe not be that aggressive, we take the foot off the pedal, we slow down a little bit, we become less aggressive, take it easy basically. Yeah, Kunal, I think we're going to just do some quickly, try to
Yes.
clear these because we have some very, very good questions. What does a Lone Ranger mean? Lone Ranger, Kunal, good question. Lone Ranger is someone who just likes living their life alone. Now, a ranger is a person, mostly in a technical term, it means a police officer, someone who's handling a particular area.
A lone ranger is someone who does not poke their nose in someone else's business and does not like anyone else poking their noses in their business.
Definitely.
Again, lone, it means someone who's
Alone.
aloof and alone. Yeah. And ranger, I mean, that's not important because you can make it out, like you can make out what it means by
In this case, it just means a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have more questions?
Oh, we have so many more. We have like 5 more.
Are we going
So
to?
Sapna said,
Yeah.
yes?
No, I was just wondering how much time we have and if we can take up all of these questions.
Yeah, definitely. We'll just make it quick, don't worry.
Hmm.
So Sapna said the ball is in your court. This is, again, all of these idioms have come from somewhere, right? So this comes from tennis, right? So just visualize this situation. The ball is in your court. What it means is that now it is your turn to make your move or to reply to what I'm saying. Okay. Now I'll give you an example. Let's say Shambhavi and I are playing tennis, and we don't really talk while we play tennis. Like, people don't talk when they play tennis. But I'm just giving you an example. Imagine the two of us are playing tennis, and I've hit the ball towards her side of the court, right? And now it's her job to either smash it as hard as she can, maybe try to spin it to beat me, or just touch it really slowly. So I have to run ahead to get the ball. Now use this in a different sense, and this is used a lot in terms of legal cases and businesses where, let's say I gave Shambhavi a business proposition that, hey, I want to buy your company for $5 million. Now the ball is in your court. That means I have hit the ball in her court, which is my question, response, proposal. Now it's her turn to reply. Now how she replies is completely up to her, right?
I mean,
Anything else
it's
you want to add?
someone else's. Yeah, like it's your responsibility. In very simple words, the ball is in your court. It means now it's your responsibility.
It's your turn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's raining cats and dogs. It's very simple. It just means it's raining very heavily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's raining really heavily. You can't really see clearly. Okay.
Yeah.
Just 1 second. Himanshu has a follow-up question on one of the other idioms. For example, Himanshu has another question. Oh, he just removed it. Okay, never mind. I think what he meant to say was, he used an example where it said that someone took their foot off the pedal. Actually, I didn't get to read it completely, so we'll just move on. Okay. To go down a storm. I don't think that is needed.
Yeah. And also I would love to know where
are you guys getting it from?
Getting these from, yeah.
So context is very important, guys. When you use these sentences, it has to be contextually correct, because it's possible where you read it somewhere and they used it in a different sense, and it's very easy to misunderstand these things. So let us know where you found this. Shruti, to go down a storm, to the best of my knowledge, is not an idiom. I don't know if Shambhavi
No, it is.
Have you Googled
yes,
it, Shambhavi? Did you find something?
Yes.
It is?
So
Okay.
it's to be very popular. So for example, the concert. The concert went down a storm. It means it did very well. It became very popular. it's just something that's very enthusiastically. So what Google says exactly is that to be enthusiastically received by an audience. So it could be a play, it could be a concert, it could be anything that's being performed in front of an audience. If it does very well, and if it's, people like it very much, we say it went down a storm. Yeah.
I did not know this one. Nice. I think the next one is Himanshu's. Thanks a bunch. I don't know if that's you using an idiom or actually saying thanks. But I
Same.
think, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It just means thank you, like
And if
thanks
it's
a
the
lot.
latter, you're welcome.
Yeah. Either way, you're welcome. um, to be well received by an audience. Yes, Shruti, you're absolutely right. Himanshu said, meaning of so much so. Please try and use it in a sentence. Let me use my example again. I hate birthdays so much. Oh, wait, no. I hate birthdays a lot. This is the perfect example. I hate birthdays a lot. So much so that I would go on Facebook and change my birthday every 6 months. So my friends wouldn't get reminders about that. Because most people, wish you when they get a message from Facebook saying, hey, it's this person's birthday. So go wish them. And they're like, okay, fine, we'll do it. And sometimes I would forget, and then randomly my friends would wish me on the 1st of Jan, and I'm like, you really think my birthday is on the 1st of Jan? How?
You're not my
Like, come
friend.
on. Yeah, I wouldn't say that, but
Uh,
I would just know that they don't actually care, so it's completely fine. But the correct way to use that is,
but Divyam,
I
is that
hate.
an idiom? I don't think that's an idiom.
No, it's
It's
not really
something
an
that we
idiom.
use in, yeah.
Yeah, it's not really an idiom, but I just wanted to clear it because he's asked such good
Yeah.
questions, and this one is sometimes confusing because it took me a while to understand it when I was learning it. So I hate birthdays a lot, so much so that I used to do XYZ things to prove it. Okay, so much so is like a way to prove कि
Yeah.
मुझे ये
Very
पसंद नहीं है,
much.
इतना नहीं पसंद है कि मैंने ये कर दिया, मतलब ऐसा.
Huh.
That would be the correct way to sort of say that.
It's just it's just very much, to a very great extent. Yeah, in very simple words, it's just that. And now it's
Okay, Shruti. Shruti has given us the perfect idiom at the perfect time. This is what I mean by context, guys. Her question is to call the party off because we are about to call the party off soon. We're about to end the live soon. So I'll just clear this out as well. To call the party off, very straightforward. It just means to end the party. Okay.
yeah,
It can also mean one more thing, by the way. Again, it depends on what way you say it, who is talking to you about it.
context. Yeah.
Context. To call the party off can also mean to cancel a party that you have planned, right? So if Shruti, you are the person planning the party and you message your friend the party is off, that means the plan is cancelled.
This is also something you'll hear very often in movies, in English movies and series. She called off the party. She called off the wedding. It just means to cancel it. She called it off.
Exactly. Awesome. I think we have covered most of them.
Yes.
I think we have tried to clear as much as possible, even though we didn't actually get to use the ones we had prepared, I would say. But what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to use the ones we didn't prepare. Actually, you know what? Let's do one thing. Everything from the first live, we had idioms and phrases part 1, idioms and phrases part 2. I'm going to take all of those idioms and I'm going to put them in the description. Okay. And if possible, I would love for you guys to use them in examples and just leave us comments and tell us about, a fun story in your life, right? So you can say, if you have to use it's raining cats and dogs, you can say, I couldn't wait to go meet my best friend in Hyderabad for her birthday after a whole year, but my flight got cancelled. My flight got cancelled because it was raining cats and dogs, right? So Himanshu, talk through basically just means to discuss something. Shambhavi and I had to talk through today's topic before coming onto the live because we had to discuss what we're going to talk about, what issues we're going to tackle, how we're going to provide value to you guys, and obviously who is going to comment the most. which I think is Himanshu, if I'm not wrong. Himanshu, Shruti are the contenders for the top comments today. Yeah, I think so. I'm just
Himanshu,
scrolling.
yeah, Himanshu is always one of like the most active people on our life, and we love it.
Thank you
I
so
remember
much
even
for
in the
that.
first Idiom and Phrases part one, he actually wanted us to do a part two. So yeah.
We hope you've gotten what you asked for, and we've done justice to this live by giving you a lot of advice, or at least some sort of value. But on this note, guys, we're going to call it. Thank you so much for all of your time. We really appreciate it. Thank you for the comments. We hope we helped you in some way. We hope we've given you value. Shambhavi, is there anything you need to add?
Yeah. Also, let us know what you would like us to talk about in our next live. We come live every Friday with very interesting topics, and we would love it if we hear from you what you would like us to talk about. So yeah, drop in your comments, like, subscribe. Yeah.
I need the bell icon for the notifications.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys, if you want to comment on this, once the live is over, it will be converted to a normal YouTube video. You can just put in your comments over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Hi.
right then. Good night.
Someone just said hello. Hi. Bye.
Hi.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. But we're going to end it. We're really sorry about this. We need to end it. We
You
need to
can
keep it
watch
under
the
45
live on
minutes.
YouTube.
And we have 18 other lives. So go for it, go crazy. And let us know what you would like to watch. Okay. Proverbs next time. Yes, Shruti, we will think about it. We will try to get the script done with it. And hopefully we will also have some very interesting guests. So you guys will love it. I'm not going to disclose anything. Spoiler alert. I don't want to give any spoilers right now. But yes,
That
I'm
could
very
also
excited.
be an April Fool prank. You never know.
No. Oh yeah, happy April Fools. I forgot that. Anyway, let's not troll them. Let's not keep them waiting. It
All
was
right.
very nice talking to all of you guys. Thank you so much again, and we will see you soon. Keep commenting what you would like to see.
Yes. Good night.